Next up is Tim LEMIEUX.
My talk is the abuses of cloning, especially creating perfect humans. The original idea was had by the Nazis, and mainly by Hitler because he led the Nazi regime. Hitler wanted to clone. He couldn't clone because it was a long time ago. They didn't have that technology, but he was going to use eugenics, which is selective breeding, to create only like perfect, like his consideration of perfect humans, which were the blonde hair and blue eyes Aryans. That's the only people he wanted. He wanted to cleanse the genetic pool by getting rid of all the other people other than the blonde hair, blue eyed Aryans. And this is a form of negative eugenics because a lot of people die because of this, and so it's negative effects of eugenics. They call them the Aryans, the blonde beasts. This led to undesirables, which were anyone less than perfect. This is the example of what happened. These are considered the undesirables. They were the Jews, and if any group today could be considered the undesirables if, depending on the racist or the beliefs of a certain group that clones and builds these perfect humans. Eugenics is the next topic. What is eugenics? This picture sort of describes it. This picture is basically crafting a human being, and you can do this through eugenics by selective breeding, which would be like, say you breed two people who have blue eyes and blonde hair. There's a good chance you'll get offspring with blue eyes and blonde hair. Or you genetic engineer, which you go in and you change the genes. And if you cloned here, you could create a group of perfect humans. This goes back to the Nazis' idea of the Aryan blonde beasts, where all the guys would have blonde hair and blue eyes like this, and all the girls would have blonde hair and blue eyes like this. This leads to diversity decreasing because favorable traits will become more prevalent, and this decreases diversity. And also, it can create a fictional world where everyone is identical. So you have these perfect humans, and someone wants to clone them to create more perfect humans. You just have this huge group of identical people, and I don't think you really want. You need diversity in the world. So this needs to stop, also because it's unethical. People have a right to genetic inheritance, so before they're born, they don't really have any control over what's going to happen. So it's not really fair to them if you go in and you change their genetic makeup. Next topic is enhanced perfect babies. This is basically cloning babies for a certain purpose. However you want them to be perfect. They're considered designer babies because they're genetically engineered before birth, and they will have advantages. It's kind of unfair because they'll have advantages over other babies that won't be given the opportunity to be engineered to have certain favorable traits. And who has the right is that it's meant for the upper class, because it's not just going to be something that everyone is allowed to do. This idea was originally brought up by the ancient Spartans. They were warlike people, so they wanted to breed only fit, healthy boys who could be trained and used as soldiers for war. And this brings to the question of if this idea was revisited, what could happen today if you could create a certain baby and then clone that baby just so that you could raise those children to become soldiers. It's a little unethical. And this also goes back to morals of manufacturing humans. Humans are natural beings. They're not really supposed to, they're not objects that are just manufactured. They're worth more than something manufactured. This brings us to morality.
1 minute.
Enhancing them and cloning them for a purpose. The thought of immortality, that if you keep cloning, are we supposed to live forever? I mean, it's really your interpretation, but a lot of people probably think we're not. And so if you keep cloning over and over like this, you're just going to get better and better, and you're going to keep on living. So this kind of comes up with the meaning of life.
Prezi betrays another one.
No, Freddy's good.
Prezi betrays everybody.
The meaning of life, where what is the meaning of life for you? Because the meaning of life isn't a certain defined thing; it's your own interpretation of it. And does cloning change it? If the meaning of life to you is that you're supposed to live your life, do your job, and everything, does cloning change that to keep on living and keep on producing better people? And another thing about morals is the undesirables. This is not humane. Why is someone undesirable just because they weren't genetically engineered to be better than everyone else? It's unethical. And undesirables, why are undesirables not worthy of life? Just because they're not better than someone else, they still deserve to live. And killing the undesirables and just replacing them with other people won't. It just won't work, because you fill the population. There'll be so many people, and it won't go over well with others. So I'm going to leave you with some lasting questions. If the Nazis had the ability to clone, what would have happened, and could this happen today? Is it okay to intervene with genetic inheritance? What could be accomplished with these perfectly designed humans? What will enhanced babies be used for? If a particular baby was cloned for an inhumane purpose, what would happen? How will cloning and eugenic projects like the Nazis tried affect diversity? And what is the meaning of life to you?